Welcome to Spiritual Mystic. My name is Katrina. This is your reading for July 1 through July the 8th, 2018. This week we're going to talk about spirit totems. Last week we talked about over-relying on web pages and books that tell you that every symbol you dream has the same meaning. I'm going to give you the same word of caution about spirit totems. They all have their own medicine, and a spirit totem doesn't have to be an animal. It can be an insect, it can be a reptile, it can be a plant. I would not be surprised if maybe there are people out there whose spirit totem is actually a planet or an asteroid or a goddess. There are any number of entities that can be a spirit totem. Now, I will tell you that every culture, every religious principle that I have ever studied, and I've studied more than I've ever bothered to count, they all will tell you the same thing. Listen to the animals and they will teach you. Even the Christian's Bible says listen to the animals and they will teach you. But what a hummingbird wants to tell me and what a hummingbird wants to tell you are two completely different things. They actually remind me of little fairies. And my husband has hummingbird feeders tacked up all around our house. And he's got the perfect recipe, and they love him and they love the nectar he makes for them. And they just remind me, I call them all Tinkerbell, because they just remind me of little fairies that are just constantly busy and flying around our house. Different cultures believe that the hummingbird has different meanings. Some Native American cultures think that all they mean is love. They're just love and happiness. And maybe they are for you. We all and we can have more than one totem. We can have more than one totem that is with us our entire life. We have totems that come into our life for a season or for a healing period or a period of growth and evolution for our souls. We have totems that come with us and stay with us through traumatic events. And then we have totems that we can rely on from the day we're born till the day we cross over, and they may even help us cross over. So if you know what one or two or three of your life totems are, I suggest that you talk to them. And I will give you a very good example. One of my totems is a wolf. And when I say talk to the wolf, I don't go find a wolf. I find videos of wolves howling and I listen. I sit and I think about the nature of a wolf, what they are like in the wild when they are unaffected by man, when man's not interfering with them and their life and their ability to just be a wolf. And I look for lessons that I can use in my daily life. So let's say, for example, you know that one of your totems is a squirrel. Don't laugh. One of my daughter's totems is a squirrel. Learn everything you can about squirrels. Learn what they do, how they live, how they reproduce, where they make their homes, what they like to eat, and then just meditate. Meditate and imagine you're a squirrel and see what kind of message you get. Now, I'm sure you're going to get confused. I'm sure you're going to say, well, am I supposed to go running around grabbing acorns and burying them in my backyard? Maybe, but that's probably not it. If you want help figuring out what your spirit totem is, and sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we have to really look at our entire life and the big picture of it And we have to think about dreams that we've had over and over again. And we have to think about what we do for a living, how we interact with our family and our friends. There are lots of telltale signs that help me guide you to your spirit totem. Once you figure out what the spirit totem is that you have, that is your life, I want you to find your life totem first, and then we can figure out totems that have just come for a season or to help you through a circumstance. I have recently myself had skunks all around me. I don't know. I mean, I know one of the things that skunks like to tell you, but I'm not sure that that's what, I feel like I'm missing something, that there's something else they want me to know, and I'm still working through that. The best healers are constantly healing themselves. We're constantly working through issues. We're constantly looking for the same answers that you come to us for. Because if we haven't figured it out for ourselves, we're not going to be much help to you. We are constantly changing. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly met with new challenges every day, just like you are. So, what is a skunk trying to tell me? I have no idea. But I'm working on it, and I'm meditating, and I'm letting the skunk spirit talk to me, and I'm learning a lot about how skunks live in the wild. A skunk could be trying to get me through, I do have life challenges just like everyone else. And it could be wanting me to not lose my own self-respect while I'm dealing with things that are going on around me. That is one example. Another thing, and I can use my daughter. She has squirrels. She also has mice. The little rodents seem to love my daughter. And I've worked with her a lot, and I've shown her how to connect with them and how to get the message from them, especially if she feels like they're showing up in her life more than usual. She's recently been going through a lot of spiritual cleansing and evolving and maturing and developing some of her own spiritual gifts. And that has brought her a lot of spiritual healing. And through the spiritual healing, she's healing her body as well. She's suddenly been bombarded by snakes. It's just like, and I'm not talking about pictures. I'm talking about everywhere she looks. In one day, she saw 6 live snakes in different places. So the snake has definitely come to her to help her work through some issues right now. I don't believe it's a life totem for her. It's just helping her work through whatever she's going through right now as she's evolving and growing spiritually. So having a spirit totem, it can be a lot of fun, but don't think that you're always going to get the bear, the eagle, the wolf. You may not. You may get a mouse. You might get a weasel. You might get a beetle or a spider or a gecko or a mosquito. Yes, a mosquito can be a spirit totem. Depending on what you need to learn about the connectedness of life and all the energies in the universe. There are so many energies just living around you all the time. And our energy and the plants and the animals and the birds and the sun and the moon and the stars and the earth, air, fire, water, everything has an energy. Everything has its own, I don't want to say consciousness, but I think to a degree there is a form of consciousness there. And all these energies kind of like weave together like a web, and they connect with each other, and they affect each other, and they interact together. And it's kind of like the philosophical idea that if a butterfly flaps its wings in Japan, then there's going to be a tsunami in India. That sounds a bit extreme, but the ripple effect of energy between living creatures is that sensitive and that extreme and that intense. And it isn't just how we affect each other, it's how we are affected by birds and fish. Yes, a fish can be a spirit totem. It's the nature of the universe and the connectedness of all the different life forms. If I sit and I watch the hummingbirds feeding, I can see how a very intense, chaotic energy in one little tiny creature can absorb an enormous amount of nectar and then just keep using it for more and more and more and more energy. At the same time, I can be sitting there, and we have a lot of hawks and falcons around our house, and they just glide by, just peaceful, totally oblivious to everything going on around them. There's a lesson, even if they aren't bringing me a message when I'm sitting on the patio and a hawk just glides past me. Even if they aren't really trying to give me a message, there's still a lesson there. There is still something to be learned from watching them just glide past, oblivious to anything and everything, because they've got their own mission in life and they're just being a hawk while I'm just being a human. But yet our energy crossed paths. And understanding when a totem comes to you and it either wants to live with you or it just wants to hang out till you get through whatever you're going through or whatever new lesson you need to learn, the message for you and the message for me are not going to be the same thing. If, like I said, I know my daughter's going through a lot of really intense spiritual evolution, evolving and healing right now. And she came to me and said, I keep seeing snakes. They're everywhere. Does this mean my Kundalini is waking up? And we talked about that. Now, I'm going to caution you that if someone out there is also seeing a lot of snakes, or you've always had a lot of snakes around you, that can be connected to your Kundalini energy, it might not. It could be saying you need to be more grounded. You need to be more conscious of your movements, because snakes move in a very unique way because they don't have legs. So they have muscles they use that other animals either don't have or don't use the way a snake uses them. This is why I know that there's the people who put out the books and the websites that say every totem has the same meaning. They mean well, and they're just trying to help you. But the meanings are deeper, and the healing and the lesson and the message and the love that could get to you if you understand how to find the deeper message is what I want you to receive. I want you to receive the love and the intense learning and the connectedness that a spirit totem can be bringing to you if you just give it a chance and know how to decipher their message, because understanding a spirit totem is the same as understanding a dream. It's all tied into and connected with who you are, what you do for a living, what's going on in your life, what you've recently experienced, illnesses and mental, emotional upheaval and chaos and trauma, and maybe you think things are just going way too good right now and your life is way too perfect, and you're worried that now you're suddenly seeing a penguin everywhere you look and you don't know what that means. I can help you. I will help you find the message. I will help you understand the love that's being sent to you from whatever totem you're dealing with. If you want help with this, if you want to explore it more in depth, the link from my website is on this video. Have a great week, and I will see you later.